Welcome back, accomplices. We are so glad to be back. Again, you have all been waiting so patiently for new content.
We apologize for the impromptu hiatus. Admittedly, it was my fault. We were gone for so long, and I feel like I owe you a bit of an explanation. To put it simply, my life was one traumatic event after another. In late September, my grandma ended up having a stroke, and her recovery has been a bumpy ride until recently. And then in October, my family lost a member to suicide. That was completely unexpected. Through all of that, Jason and I moved and had to help move my grandmother after she was able to come home from the rehabilitation center. We've been renovating our house. We got Storm a puppy, and I'm starting a new position at work. And with all the other chaos, it was hard to carve out time to record. Luckily, our listeners understand that life happens, but we are excited to be back in the studio to give you all of the juicy content.
But also, literally none of that is your fault.
I feel like it is.
But I have also been super busy with getting promoted at work as well. But I think I'm
That's
finally...
so great.
Yeah, thanks. But I think I'm finally organized and in the groove that I need to be in. Since it's been a while, we should recap. In the last episode that we released, we told you there would be a special guest host. It took a few months, but he is here tonight, and we should warn you that, true story, according to the state of California, he is intellectually disabled.
When you say it that way, it sounds like I'm taking advantage of the mentally handicapped.
Well,
I'm not even going to acknowledge that with a response. But in case you forgot who we are, I'm Tara.
I'm Shayna.
And I'm the special guest host, Jason. Yeah, that's all it. That's pretty much it. I'm a little high, folks. Okay, I'm inebriated on the green stuff, but I'm Jason. Let's erase that whole first part. I'm going to be telling you guys about a really cool guy. And Shayna's going to take it from here. That's what my notes say.
So I guess, given the information about the state of California, you can also make that judgment call for yourselves.
He gave you some good content on that.
You did not help your cause at all, buddy.
I wasn't trying too long. I was spitting facts.
So yes, this is the Jason that is Tara's fiance. He's been really dying to tell you guys this story tonight. But anyways.
Which one? Oh, yes. Killdozer. The fucking patriot shit. Why do you get the comfortable chair?
Because it's my chair. It's my studio.
You fucking treat your guests this way?
That's your favorite chair.
How many guests have you had on your podcast?
Just one other.
Okay.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Tia.
she was in Ohio. Tia!
Yeah, I forgot about that, but you get a comfortable chair.
Shayna has an update for us.
Shayna, what's your update?
So, since we've been gone, there has been an update that we followed from a case on a previous episode. If you remember back to Season 2, Episode 1, we covered the sadistic sexcapades of Taylor Shabiznis, who had smoked methamphetamine in the basement of her boyfriend Shad Therian's mother's Green Bay, Wisconsin home before Shabiznis strangled, decapitated, and dismembered him. She then left parts of his body throughout the house and in a vehicle. Shabiznis had pleaded not guilty, and not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. A jury had convicted her in July of first-degree intentional homicide, third-degree sexual assault, and manipulating a corpse, and found that she wasn't mentally ill when she killed Therian. On September 26th, Brown County Circuit Judge Thomas Walsh said before announcing her sentence that, quote, the offense in this case can't be overstated, end quote. He addresses Shabiznis directly stating, quote, you seem to run out of superlatives. Where the victim's remains are cut up, these actions are foreign. They shock the community. There aren't really words for it. Shabiznis's defense attorney, Christopher Frolick, told the court, She would speak on her own behalf before Walsh sentenced her. When the judge asked Shabiznes if there was anything she'd like to say, she replied simply, quote, "No, there isn't." New quote, "She's not a monster," Frolic told the court, adding that at age 25, there's still time for his client to be rehabilitated. But, alas, Taylor Shabiznes has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Okay, Shane, I get a question. What was that new quote shit? Like, new quote? Like, yeah, we know another one's happening. Oh, they don't got papers in front of them. No, my bad. You guys don't know. Never mind. Pull my critique. Just forget I said anything. Okay, Tara, it's your turn to talk. Go ahead. Back to you, Tara.
Dude, that case was wild. Like, do you remember when we watched the video where she attacked her former defense attorney and had it to be assigned a new one?
Yeah.
Dude, this is still one of my favorite cases that we've ever covered on the show.
Same. The names alone make it worth it.
I know. Taylor Shabiznes.
Shabiznes. That'd be a good. That's a weird last name. I can't even think of nothing. I was gonna try to think of something funny and quirky, but the last name sucks. Shabiznes.
Anyways, Jason is here with us tonight, and he wrote a case that he was interested in and wanted to share on the show. So, Jason, what do you got for us?
All right. So the story that I wrote, the little case that I wrote, and I'm not a professional like these two ladies, is about the Killdozer. And no, not the popular TikTok song from Kim Dracula, but it is inspired. It has inspired that song. So, a Killdozer. Let me get started with who I'm going to talk about before we get into like all of what the precursor to everything. But Marvin John Heemeyer, I think that's how you pronounce it. Heemeyer, but whatever, was an American automobile muffler repair shop owner who demolished numerous buildings with a modified bulldozer in Granby, Colorado, before killing himself. So let's talk about that. Before we get started, let's get to know a little about the man himself. Marvin John Heemeyer was born on October 28, 1951 in Castlewood, South Dakota. He is best known for his rampage in what's known as the Killdozer, but not much is really known about his upbringing and adult life. Some of his friends, start that again. Some of his friends say he wasn't very outgoing and didn't do well in school, but that's pretty much all I can dig up. He joined the Air Force and eventually was stationed at a Colorado base. By 1974, Heemeyer had moved to Colorado because he was stationed at Lowry.
This is Shayna's favorite Air Force base.
Lowry Air Force Base.
Larry.
Shayna?
Lowry. You know, for like Bad Boys. Mike Lowry. But yeah. So his story at Lowry Air Force Base. In 1989, he moved to Grand Lake, Colorado, about 16 miles away from Granby, Colorado, where his rampage would
Moved to Grand Lake.
Yeah, he moved. That's what I just said. He moved to Grand Lake, Colorado, about 16 miles from Granby. Keep up, brah.
It sounded like you said he moved to Granbury.
Oh, no. Okay, so in 89, listen, Linda. Listen, I'm reading the story. If it sounds stupid, it sounds stupid, okay? But in 89...
We warned them
the year
already.
I was born, 1989, the year I was born, he moved to Grand Lake, Colorado. 16 miles away from Granby, Colorado, where he would one day go on a rampage. So, Granby and Grand Lake were kind of like one large community from what I gathered. Heemeyer would one day open his muffler repair shop in the city of Granby, but I don't think he ever lived there in the actual city limits of Granby. So he never had like a residential address there from what I can find, just his business address. But Heemeyer would have a long history of disputes and conflicts with this little city in Colorado, including, a couple things here. Legalization of gambling. He was a huge proponent of that. He wanted gambling in the city limits. They refused. He brought it up in several, town halls?
Yeah,
town halls.
He went to several
conflicts
of them.
with the local press. Yeah. Conflicts with the local press. I don't know what that's about. But here's the thing that we're going to get to. What makes this whole story, it kind of explains why he did what he did. But multiple zoning disputes with the city, as well as a dispute about the lack of adequate sewage disposal. So, to say the least, Marvin, good old Marv, had problems with the city.
So bad.
This is how just don't worry about it. This is how I explain shit, okay? So anyway, just stop critiquing my talking.
You're not critiquing.
Okay, so
You got to quit clapping your hands, buddy.
That's fine. Where were we? Multiple zoning disputes. Okay, so there's lack of adequate suit. So, from what I can gather and what we see here, the evidence presented to us by the great people of the internet, he didn't get along with Granby at all, 0%. So it's kind of like leading up to it. So all of this would lead up to his infamous Killdozer rampage, which will be the focus of this episode. All right. It was June 2004 when Marvin John Heemeyer drove his 85-ton armed and armored Komatsu D355A bulldozer out of a steel shed in western Granby and began his hours-long mission to destroy everything he could. Why? Well, that's an interesting question, folks.
Are you going to tell us?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to mansplain some shit.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you some shit. So anyway, say it was due to mental illness. Some say it was due to mental illness. Others say it was to get revenge on the small town. Before we get started with the why, let's talk about how. Let's talk about the equipment he used, guys, because that's the most exciting part about all this. Not the fact that he got justice on government. And yeah, he took shit into his own hands. But the D3...
Well, now you just explained the why before the how.
Yeah, okay, well, okay. The D35-5A Komatsu bulldozer was outfitted with armored steel plates.
Outfinna. He is German.
I am German.
Outfinna.
So it was outfitted with armored steel plates, 350 caliber rifles, and viewing cameras so he could navigate the small town due to lack of windows. Because he steeled it all up. He fucking made this thing in a little tank. Heemeyer also installed sliding steel doors so he could see what he was shooting at. The dozer weighed in at 85 tons after all his modifications, because it previously weighed 61 tons. So just, do the math, how much he added to it. Lots of tons.
24 tons.
It was made to be absolutely impenetrable. Marvin Heemeyer was determined to be unstoppable so he could accomplish his mission, a mission of revenge. I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable, he wrote. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. So now we are familiar with the how. Let's dig into the why. In 1992, Marvin John Heemeyer purchased 2 acres of land to open his muffler shop. According to his friends and family, that had been his dream. A small muffler repair shop seems completely reasonable to me. Little did Marvin know, that land was also desired by the Dochev family. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Dochev, whatever. The Dochev family were a well-known family of dairy farmers and business owners. The land that Heemeyer had purchased was on an old concrete plant. What are you laughing about, dog?
So dairy wrong.
That's
Did
like derriere.
Oh, my bad. You don't have to tell people that, dude. They don't see nothing.
Hey, I gave the warning.
Okay, liquid. Okay, before I was so absolutely rudely made fun of. The Dochev family are a well-known family. I need something to drink, dog. Give me some of that. What is this? That's coconut. So I got caught mouth raw. Okay, yes. Anyway, back to the Dochev family. They are a well-known family of dairy farmers and business owners. The land that Heemeyer had purchased was on an old concrete plant, and he beat out the Dochevs at auction for this plot. And this did not sit well with the Dochev family, as they wanted to open a new concrete plant where Heemeyer's shop was to be built. Wanting to expand the plant, Cody Dochev made an offer to Heemeyer to purchase his plot. Apparently Heemeyer had once agreed to sell for $250,000, but that's an agreement that John would modify several times before his infamous rampage for the small town. When the $250,000 was enough, Marvin Heemeyer eventually upped his asking price to well over $1 million. The Dochev family had simply scoffed at his asking price and decided to go on with building a new concrete plant, like all around his muffler shop. Well, the new plant that the Dochev family had went ahead and built blocked off the previous easement that Heemeyer had and it cut off all access to his shop from any street in the city. This obviously hurt business for Marvin. Marvin took his pleas to the city council several times, and they denied him an easement over the next several years. Marvin eventually had to close up shop, but he didn't just sit idly by. Oh no, John had an agenda now. For 18 months leading up to his rampage, John had locked himself into his now closed muffler shop, began building his Killdozer. Once finished, Marvin John Heemeyer began his hours-long destructive rampage. His targets included the town hall, the Sky High newspaper office, Gamble's General Store, Maple Street Builders, Mountain Parks Electric Company, quite a few buildings. Imagine these are probably some of the larger buildings in the little city. Liberty Savings Bake, Copycat Graphics. I mean, bro, the graphics shop, bro. Like, that would be the last building I go after. I would have went after the kindergarten before the fucking graphics store. You know, that's just some like
what?
It's just like
Vader. Sorry if you guys can hear that. Our dog got in here.
He's just playing the drums.
Come here.
The puppy loves love.
Vader.
So.
Okay, chill. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, why the graphics shop? Okay. The wall of his former business, the home of a former mayor in which the mayor's 82-year-old widow then resided, and a hardware store. No one really knows why Marvin went after these businesses for sure, but some speculate that he had disagreements with them in the past. So that's pretty much the whole story. I know it's kind of short, but we're going to get into a little more details that I got written up. First, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah.
Ask some questions. I'll answer them.
Did he kill anybody?
No, see, that's the facts I'm pulling up on my phone right now. So he did not kill anybody, despite all the efforts to. But apparently, he just sucked at everything in life. He sucked at his muffler shop and sucked at his rampage. His rampage kind of sucked.
Wait. He's the Killdozer?
Yeah.
And you didn't kill anybody?
I didn't make it up. I didn't make that up. But so I got some facts. He did not kill anybody. He injured 2 officers, and the cops actually didn't even kill him. They disabled his dozer with several like grenades and stuff like that, and it finally stalled out. So he shot himself in the head with a .357 Magnum. So the cops, they fired tear gas at him and all kinds of stuff. But the Komatsu D355A had a 410 horsepower turbocharged engine, but only had a top speed of like 7.5 miles per hour. So the fact that he was going for hours at about 8 miles an hour, is pretty incredible. He really armored that thing up. Shayna's laughing. What you laughing at? Yeah, she's just giggling away at a little squeaky belt. But that's before he added all the armor. So it was going barely 8 miles an hour with all that armor on it. With all that armor off of it. That's how fast it can go. So I'm assuming it was going even slower, with all that armor. Because it originally weighed 49 tons. But it ballooned up to over 61 tons after Marvin added all the armor. So what is that? 12 extra tons? 40, 56. Yeah.
Wait, but in the story you said it weighed 85 tons.
Yeah.
I got that from Wikipedia. You can't always trust Wikipedia. I had to pull some of these facts from Wikipedia, folks. But yeah, so the Komatsu made a perfect battering ram vehicle, honestly. And
but the only person in the story to die was Killdozer
Just
himself.
him. Just Killdozer. And he caused over $7 million in damage. The 50 caliber rifles that he used were Barrett M82 anti-material rifles. They were mounted to the front of the vehicle. So, yeah, he was pretty pissed off. So, I saw some, like, going kind of off the script here, but I saw some pictures of, like, I saw some pictures of how, like, the concrete plant blocked off his shop. Because, basically, they cut off all access from the street to his shop, and that killed his business. And they built the whole concrete plant around it, and the city didn't do anything about an easement and all this kind of stuff. It did turn out that the Dochev family had offered him upwards of $1.5 million for a plot that he paid $200,000 for. So Heemeyer is kind of like a anti-government little man, like urban hero. I don't know if he was a hero, but fuck the government. That's all I'm saying. What you ladies got? You guys know, like, a Barrett 50 cal that'll split a man in half, and he didn't kill a single person. What a fucking loser! He had all that tech, bro. Okay, and he didn't kill anybody. I didn't know that. I used to idolize this guy. He's a little bit of a bitch.
Did it take you coming on the show to realize that?
Yeah, I didn't know he didn't kill anybody. This is not
How
even.
did you not know? What did you do?
This is not even a murder
Did you just
mystery.
Google him like right before? Well, we do true crime.
No, I watched
too.
an episode of Vice.
What?
Back in like 2009, I watched an episode of Vice, dude. You know, Vice is on YouTube. It's a YouTube show.
Yeah, it's
Vice.
now. There's like it's on a streaming app too now.
Yeah.
Paramount, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, I Vice has lots of good documentaries. This is not we're not sponsored by Vice. It's not a plug for Vice. I'm just saying, like, if you guys want to learn some weird stuff, Vice is it.
Vice is it.
Vice is it. But yeah, I'm sorry you guys had to listen to a lame ass episode, but take a look into the Killdozer. It's an interesting story of a man versus government. Because, you know, like 1776, we decided we had enough of England's bullshit. So we became like an independent nation, 13 colonies.
What?
Our forefathers are badass. You know what Jefferson did? You know what? No, Washington. You know what George Washington did?
Besides chop down the cherry tree.
He had
I
wooden
don't think
teeth.
he didn't have wooden teeth.
He did. That's why he was always so angry looking.
No, you know what his teeth were really made out of?
Bone?
No.
What?
The teeth of slaves.
What?
Yep.
His teeth were made out of the teeth of slaves?
Yep. That he owned.
Ew. So he had somebody else's teeth in his mouth?
In his mouth.
They didn't even have sanitation back then.
So anyway, they didn't, dude. They didn't. How did you do, like, what slaves just said, yeah, sure, take my teeth? Oh,
they were probably already
dead ones.
Oh, that's worse. I think a live person's tooth in my mouth would be a lot less creepy than a dead person's tooth.
I think a live person's tooth would be more creepy than a dead person's tooth.
Yeah.
If you needed one of my teeth,
because it would be like,
because if they were alive, you would know it wasn't taken willingly.
For you. Yeah.
Okay. True. But Washington on Christmas Eve crossed a frozen river and killed people in their sleep. Yeah, dude. Marvin John Heemeyer, the Killdozer. He didn't kill anybody. It should just be called the Dozer. We're renaming this story to the Dozer because Killdozer doesn't make any sense. Lame Dozer. That was a lame case. Okay, take it away, ladies.
Take it away, ladies.
Who's next?
Take it away, ladies.
Take it away.
Dude, we should try it one more time to get Wiener Schnitzel today. Shayna, let me tell you something, guys, real quick. We're doing a PS this episode. I have a question for any of our... It's a pre-PS, a PPS. Pre-PS, guys. I gotta get this off my mind right now.
PS. That's
Okay.
what PPS stands for.
Pre-post PS. You gotta put this in. Okay. Quiet on set. So, for our listeners that are local to us in the Spokane area, or the greater Spokane area, can you explain to me why you guys are so fanatical over Wiener Schnitzel right now? I have been trying for the last over a month to go to Wiener Schnitzel, but the line...
A month ago.
About a month. A little less than a month. I've been trying to go to Wiener Schnitzel, but the line for Wiener Schnitzel is out of control. The food is not good enough to justify waiting in line for more than maybe 8 minutes. 8.5 tops. It really depends on how crunchy that corn dog is, if that 8.5 was worth it. So, if you guys can please stop fucking going to Wiener Schnitzel for a little bit so I can get some, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for listening to Thick Thighs and Murder Vibes.
Well, anyways.
In case you guys were curious, Jason is from Southern California where they have Wiener Schnitzel. So for him, it's like a taste of home thing. And he keeps saying, it's not even that good.
Bro, it's not even that good.
Why? He's like, I'm not waiting that long, but he's waited 2 years. This building has been taunting him. We drive past it every day. And he's really been wanting some Wiener Schnitzel.
I gotta get that meaty, cheesy, warm wiener between a soft hot dog bun with mustard on it. They use American cheese. They don't use shredded cheese. They use American cheese. I think that's the trick. Like Kraft.
That's the trick.
Kraft singles.
Just love some singles.
So, as I said earlier, my family lost a member a couple months back to suicide, and also Killdozer had taken his own life, obviously for a different reason. I wouldn't want to go to prison either, so he probably thought that was just like the better option.
Yeah, they do bad stuff in prison.
But if you or anybody you know is struggling with mental health or thoughts of suicide or self-harm, please call 988. You can also text 988. They have live chats. People are always available 24/7 and 24/7, 365, or you can also go to lifeline.org. But that is it for our episode. You can catch us back next week. Shayna will have a case she's been working on. From what I'm told, it's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason, for hosting with us tonight. It was a pleasure to have you, and we hope to have you back sometime.
For sure. It was a joy. It was a pleasure, guys and gals, and everything in between. I'm not listing every one of them. But anyway, yeah, men's mental health matters. Men commit suicide in much higher numbers than women do. It's not very talked about. So men's mental health matters. As I always say, I'd rather you vent at me over the phone than I have to cry at your funeral. So, yeah. Talk about your feelings, guys.
Definitely. Thank you all again for your continued support. Even in our absence, we loved hearing from you guys, and we continue to encourage you to reach out. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or by emailing thickthighsmurdervibes@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Adios, amigos.
Jason, it's so good to have you on.
Hola.
Thanks, Jason.
Hola. Hola. You're welcome. That'll be fine. Hola.